Well, guys, it is finally here. It looks like the Nprc overlords have finally dropped the 2023 class rules for all of us to run by. Now, all the main events should be running these rules this year, but of course, what we do in our local stuff is kind of up to us, what we need to do to support and grow the hobby in our areas and not just at a national level. So let's talk about some of these things. There's some things I like, some things that I don't like so much, but oh well. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. We are going to make you faster today. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Super happy to be with you here tonight. We just got these rules that just dropped an hour ago. It's awesome. Let's get into it. And the first thing that we are going to start with is we are going to start with the Outlaw class. First of all, a big shout out and thank you to the people that work hard and take all the flack and feedback and everything else from people to try to find a way to support the hobby, keep it going, keep the innovation going, and just, try to keep things rolling and even the playing field out, maybe for a lot of people, try to bridge the gaps between the new, the middle, and of course the old school. So let's get started here. Street Outlaw. The chassis, same chassis, rear and mid motor allowed, no four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, nothing new there. Motor and speed control, any over-the-counter motor, full control of timing is allowed, no gyro assist. Battery, any commercially available battery, hard case is not required. A 3D printed case for your pack is encouraged. Voltage 8.44 maximum volts is allowed. So far everything is pretty simple and what we have been used to. The one thing that they did mention was that they wanted to clarify certain things in the rules that maybe some people were kind of floating around in that gray area, which is something that we will get to here very shortly. So get the tires. Any commercial available in-store or online rubber tire with foam. That's going to bring up the whole voodoo discussion again. They've been easier to get, but the pre-orders still sell out in like 5 minutes and they're hard to get for people. So that's still going to be a sticking point, but it looks like that's just going to be the way it is. Foam inserts, whatever. Prep, of course, is allowed. A burnout is not required, but it is encouraged. 4 shocks connecting. All of them must have some movement. That used to be defined, I believe, like at a 1/4 inch, but now any movement that is visible, acceptable by the race director. So if these cars are getting lower, the shocks are becoming, a little bit less, and they're very important, but, depending upon what kind of surface you're on, you might want very, very, very little movement at all. Transmission, 3 or 5 gear transmission case, no belts. Weight, still the same, 2060. Wheelie bar, 14 inches from the rear dog bone, including the bar parts or wheels. I think that is about the same. Wheelie bar wheels, a maximum of 1.5. I think that is new. Body must be a realistic looking drag car style body. Pro Mod bodies are allowed. Body must cover the wheels, no buggy bodies. Wheel wells must be cut exposing a minimum of the entire rim while at ride height. So that's going to be a little tricky thing because I know some people, including myself, have kind of cut a little bit of that off. I think like just slightly above the wheel nut is kind of like where I ran my body last year. So it looks like we'll kind of have to raise that and cut that out a little bit more, which is fine. Rear body cutouts. You can remove some of that stuff to mount a wing or a spoiler. Must retain the original rear quarter fenders, trunk lid, and or pickup bed. Front body trimming. This is something that's interesting here. Cannot be higher than the lowest part of the main grill. Well, that certainly is a change considering some people have ran bodies with the grills completely gone. So definitely cannot do anything like crazy like that with the bodies and stuff anymore. I cut my bodies down as low as I could. Did I really get any advantage out of it? I don't really know. whatever. So, but that's definitely something that's different on there this year. So, body holes, 4 holes, extra holes that you might have in your body need to be covered with stickers or tape, where you're remounting, old bodies on the new cars and stuff. Splitters, spoilers, no taller than the roof line. Anything that's supplied with a body is considered legal, even if they violate those rules. Nose splitters may extend a maximum of 1/2 inch out from the edge of the body. Anyone caught cheating will be asked to leave immediately and disqualified. Don't be that person. So there's your outlaw class, guys. Not a whole lot of changes, just a little bit of refinement to the current rules. And hey, I'm good with it. Leave outlaw alone. It's what drives the passion. It's what people want to see. It's what drives me. Like, I want a 100-mile-per-hour car. I'm like 12 mile, 13 mile per hour away from it. So we'll find it somewhere this season, I hope. Now on to the Real Street 2023. And this is kind of where things get a little confusing, because we need a class that is in between outlaw and in between RTR. And looking at all this, there's some things that are kind of whatever. For example, no tire prep. I mean, I think prep is actually an equalizer. I don't think it is something that makes one person better than another. If you know how to use the prep a little bit better on different surfaces, then that's going to help. And let's face it, if you're running a real street race with a no prep race, then the track is going to have glue all over it anyway. And maybe that's the thought process, just a little less glue. So we'll check these out. Any rear motor, mid motor is allowed. Any kind of full timing VXL system. The turn limit on a 2-pole motor is at 4.5 turns. So that means that, hey, you can bust out those, those 4.5 turn DRK hobby wing motors that we've had laying around since 2020 and give those things a shot and see what they go. But here is going to be, this is what I like. This is the equalizer. And this had to happen for 2 reasons. The money, to keep costs down on these cars, and also to kind of even the playing field a little bit more. And we're talking about the battery. So a hard case battery, a single pack, a 2S battery. So we're going back to the hard case, Roar approved, buggy type of batteries. Same voltage, everything else. And that's going to be the equalizer right there, guys, because you're not going to be able to take and put 45 degrees of timing and dump it out of a 5,000, stick pack with 2 parallel cells. It's just not going to happen. It's going to destroy these batteries. So you're going to basically just have to find that balancing act of how much timing is going to maintain your voltage. Gearing, all of that stuff comes right back with this Real Street class. I like it. I wish the prep was still allowed on there, because again, I think tire prep is just an equalizer. I think it just, when you spend so much money on a car, the tire prep being able to send the car straight, and you not having prep and busting off the line and hitting a tree or hitting a sensor or destroying your car, because you could run any car that you want in this class. But that's just the way it is. So that means things like the Sanwa and stuff become even more important, because you are going to have to really, really bring it out of the hole a lot slower. The other big thing, we won't read through all the stuff on this class, is that, they have a list of actually non-approved bodies. So there's no wheelie bar. The bodies have to be realistic looking. So there's no pro mod bodies type of stuff. There's no C7, GTR, Super J. All of these bodies on here that are built that, or it could be any kind of suspect type of body, are just out. So all the hot stuff from last year, we're going back to like old school, cool looking bodies, Super J's, things like that. And you know, I'm all right with that. I'm totally cool with that. So cars must remain in stock configuration, all that kind of stuff like that. Oh, I'm sorry, that's down to the RTR class. So we got all the bodies and stuff. RTR class, you are basically allowed to run any kind of RTR stuff. They need to no aftermarket hop ups. You can change your shocks, your diff oil, any kind of replacement parts need to be for the RTR. So you can't upgrade like from plastic hubs to like aluminum hubs and that kind of stuff. You can use the DR10, you can use the Slash, or you can use the Losi 22 drag SRC. I wonder if the DR10M is considered an RTR. Well, actually, it's not available in an RTR, so I retract that statement. Now, of course, if you want to see all of these for yourself, just go onto Facebook here and you can go to the NPRC and No Prep Drag Racing RC homepage. And you can see that I actually have them linked here. They've been working on this stuff for the past couple months. And, you know, I've just got to listening actually the other day to Tyler and Sean's podcast talking about things that were coming with all of the different rules and stuff, some changes that people were going to like. And obviously, you know, we can't like please everybody. There was 210 comments on the original type of post that they put out, and I don't really see a whole lot of changes from that original post that they did. So that is where we are at for 2023, guys. Again, of course, it's all going to be up to your local population, what everybody is running, how to get people into the game. Doesn't mean you can run your races any way that you want to. Bracket class, top 10 list, whatever you want to do. And I think with some of these rule changes, some of that stuff might come back. You know, do I see any of these rule changes changing anything for the better here locally at my, spot? Not really. I think we're all still going to be running Outlaw. Maybe a couple people might be interested in running some kind of the real street class, but you know, who wants to spend basically the same type of money to build a real street car? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're kind of going to be in one or the other if you're just like, you know, wanting to get out there and play. So, you know, that's it, guys. That's what we've been waiting for. I am pretty happy with everything. I guess the only thing that, like I said, I would change is just make I would like to see the real street, wheelie bar, and tire prep. Leave that hard case battery and that 4.5 turn motor in there and get rid of the crazy bodies. And I think you got yourself a winning class right there for a lot of people, because cheaper batteries, can't push them as hard. You know, got to be good with just running like 2.5, 2.6 probably. I'm sure people will go faster, but I'm just trying to think back like where I was. You know, DRK, new life for the DRK with that kind of a class. I remember running stick packs on the DR10 with the DRK, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you wouldn't need the Sanwa if you had a DRK. I don't know why I keep forgetting them. Maybe because they have beat themselves into irrelevancy by not providing good electronics. But let's hope that these manufacturers see this stuff and want to breathe some new, fresh life into their products, strip out some of that stuff that maybe was holding them back, focus on that class, and maybe let some of the other manufacturers just keep working on their outlaw stuff. So that's all I got for you today, guys. It's big, exciting news. It's time to get to work on that DC-1 over there. We will talk to you guys later. Peace.